Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or should I say, internet no minasan, konnichiwa. Today, we're continuing to wrap up the on and off full discography marathon by going over JP side of things and doing the Japanese exclusive B-sides. We only have two, and barring content ID checks and stuff, this will be a very short video regardless, because we only have two B-sides to get through. Love Arrow and What Is a Love? They're from fairly early on in On and Off's career. On and Off have done 3 Japanese albums in some capacity. So the On Off Japanese album has the title track On Off Japanese version, the B-side original in Japanese version, and then the JP exclusive B-side titled Love Arrow. And same with the complete album. It has the Japanese version of Complete, the Japanese version of 86,400, which is called 24 Jikan. Song that I very famously thought they were two very different songs when we were going through the albums in order, and then the Japanese original What Is a Love. The other Japanese era that On and Off have done is From Love Effect, but that only has the title track in Japanese form, Love Effect, and we don't do language remakes here unless they're in some kind of like weird obscure language, or unless they have like a feature on it, we won't cover it just because melodically it's not going to be any different. It's just the lyrics are in a different language. So we'll do the two official exclusive Japanese B-sides, Love Arrow and What Is a Love. What do we have left? We have the Hello WM releases to finish. I did go back and check out the last little bits of the OSTs that I missed yesterday. At the time of recording, this is Sunday following the OST marathon that we did, dropping on Saturday in conjunction with OST Saturday for the week. So to get timing references and stuff in mind, that is where we are at. And yeah, we'll just send it one time. So here we go. Right, so we're gonna start with, give me my notepad once again, Love Arrow from the Japanese version of the On Off album. So we're talking debut era, back when they still had 7 members and they're still, I guess, like freshly graduated out of WM rookies, right? I mean, admittedly, this is, well, let's see, this album technically dropped after You Complete Me era, but you get my point. So, let's see what the Japanese... I guess this is exclusive, so I have no reference apart from what the title track sounded like. So, let's see. Here we go. It's a very expansive song, isn't it? Like, the soundstage feels like it's like pulsating bigger and bigger. Cool stacking. Nice little head flip. It weirdly feels dreamy, which I quite like in a weird roundabout way. Yeah, it feels... The song doesn't feel real. It feels like a figment of my imagination, the way it kind of like pulsates. Oh, and almost like a hard cut going into chorus too. That woohoo moment though is very charismatic. But it's also such a high song, isn't it? Yeah, it's an amazingly high song. That entire chorus is essentially head voice. Whoa! What a cool entry. That digital modified vocal go high, low, back into the middle. My goodness. It just keeps getting higher. How? Well, damn. I'm trying to think of an on and off song where the vocals go higher than this. Because, you know, on and off can do high vocals. Like, well, Hyojin, Minkyun, and even Ishin on and I guess throw Ishin and Sungjin in there as well, can hit a really high note. But this song in general is just like the average note they sing at is high. And I don't think they've done a song that's higher than this. But it's also a song that's tremendously groovy and dreamy, and it almost gives off late night vibes in a weird roundabout way. It's too energetic and too high to be like a true late night song, so to speak. But the vibes are all there. Really weird how powerful the vocals are in this song. Because the vocals themselves don't actually hold a lot of weight, but it's the range that they sing at that delivers all the power for me here. And gosh, this is part of their Japanese debut. That's impressive. And what's really interesting is it feels very non-J-pop oriented. So sometimes when you have a group that goes Japan side out of Korea, they'll purposely switch their sound to be more appropriate for the Japanese market. I think girl groups do this more than the boy groups do, but there is a different direction that groups will take for their Japanese discography, just because the JP music scene and the Korea music scene aren't necessarily the same. And I think if you go through, especially with the boy groups right now, like I'll bring up an example, like N-Team and NCT Dream, their most recent Japanese song, Awarashi and Moonlight respectively, they feel very much similar in styles. Of course, N-Team is very much a JP-based group, or supposed to be a more JP-oriented group, and NCT Dream are, you know, baby NCT before NCT Wish were around. So they both have very different discographies and kind of sounds that they've taken, but then they go Japan side and they sound very similar to each other. I wonder what the Japanese music scene was, well, 5, 6, 7 years ago? Oh my goodness, 7 years ago was. Because, no, 6 years ago. I can do math, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, it makes me wonder if this was the more kind of J-pop oriented sound that was of the time, because this is an era in music that I'm really not familiar with when it comes to the Japanese side of things, because I didn't really have an interest in J-pop during this time. I was still very much in my EDM phase, and then kind of like creeping back into the K-pop side of things, but I was still very much a girl group stan in like the late 2010s, so maybe this is appropriate for its era, or like, yeah, appropriate for its time, but it feels very different knowing what the overall on and off context is. It's like you get the EDM side of Complete Me era, or the You Complete Me era, but it's also got like the smoothness of like Why in Moscow era, but it's got the really high vocals of Beautiful Beautiful. Like On and Off My Name Is had some decently high vocals in it. I guess the second pre-chorus in By My Monster is also very high, isn't it? Well, yeah, this is definitely a different direction for On and Off, at least from immediate memory. So that's pretty neat. Also, look how long this song is. And then we move one album forward to the Complete era, or at least the Japanese version. This, of course, famously has 24 時間, which... Ooh, do I want to call 86,400 my favorite on and off ballad? I think I Love You's a really good one too, but oh, that's tough. That's really tough. But that's not important right now, because we have track number 3 off of that album titled What Is a Love? This is the other Japanese exclusive song that we've got. So here we go. I'm serious, girl. Whoa. Oh, I love how heavy this is. Oh, get some bounce involved though. Wait, hold on. Cool. I love this jazz piano with this nice like swing beat on it. It's a really cool combo. Oh. And the wide soundstage as well. It's another song that feels like it kind of goes on forever. Yeah, the swing on this is really fun to listen to. Oh, short verse and it's just Wyatt. Okay. I guess it's just a pre-chorus that's super long, isn't it? This song honestly is like 1 or 2 modified minor chords away from becoming just a full-on jazz tune, which is really cool to me. Oh, I was expecting that run to continue through the transition. They cut it off. Okay. Oh, late Wyatt verse. Okay, that song's actually very clever. Also, look how long the song is again. But this one takes you on a journey. Like, this one has got a lot of spice and seasonings and herbs going on with it. It's quite a complex formula. It's got a lot of different genres going on, but they all provide really good vibes. Like, just really good vibes. I think the swing is terrific about it. In fact, in certain places, almost gives it a hip-hop feel because that swing beat is so nice. It's one of those where it puts on a little bit of a stank face going just, ooh. But then you've got the almost jazzy piano with all the syncopation from your jazz side of things coming in. It's like, oh, get a little refined one time. The piano punching in almost reminds me of the GTA 3 opening. Maybe that's fresh in my mind because I was watching a video on someone, one of like the YouTube musicians, dissecting all the GTA opening themes and stuff like that. But there's just something about that nice crispy jazz piano that comes in on like jazz rhythm. So all the syncopated, all the offbeats is just like, ooh, get tasty with it one time. And then, of course, you get the on and off vocals on top of it. And, I mean, that's just on and off vocals at that point. Everyone knows what you get from the on and off vocal. And it's, frankly, it fits. I think arrow-wise is actually very interesting. Because this is before We Must Love. But this almost feels like it could be a part of that Go Live album with, you know, YM Moscow. It's just like a little bit more upbeat kind of classy type song, and it feels almost ahead of its time in a way, which I think is really neat. Because I'm noticing now that, you know, On and Off haven't really dabbled much in the Japanese side of things with Japanese exclusive discographies, because these are the only two official like Japanese exclusive songs, apart from, you know, promotional stuff that I haven't come across yet. But they've only officially had 3 Japanese releases, and one of them doesn't even have any B-sides. It's just the title track. So put that into context, like 7 years of doing On and Off and only having 2 Japanese exclusive songs is really not like dabbling in the Japanese market at all. And maybe because it's from so long ago that it feels this way, but what would have felt original back then, now that we have, you know, a few more years of their discography to build on after this is dropped, there's eras that this could connect to that it wouldn't have back when this released. And I think that's really neat, because I think it's kind of showing that On and Off haven't gone the cookie cutter way of doing what's popular in Japan for Japan and doing what's popular in Korea for Korea. They're doing that on and off thing regardless of where it's intended for. I think that's pretty neat. If I have to pick a favorite out of 2, it probably is What Is a Love. There's just something really saucy about it that works for me. Not to say that, you know, Love Arrow is a bad song or anything. I love the complexity of What Is a Love. I love the pieces that go into it. I think it's very tastefully done. I think it's very creative, and I love that it's ahead of its time. That's very cool. Very cool indeed. Now, the real question is, what's going to happen with content ID checks? Because JP releases often do get blocked, and considering I'm uploading in Japan, can be a little bit of an interesting test, but we'll find out. That's a problem for future me to figure out, because I have to go and finish up the Hello WM releases to completely wrap up our On and Off marathon. So I'm going to leave you all here. Thank you all for listening along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed them as much as I did. One last request from me today: let's work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking in with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day today. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.